Hi, this is Joe again with another review. But instead of doing a typical movie review, since we're about a little more than 3 weeks away from the 50th anniversary of the Kennedy assassination, I'm going to be discussing shows that dealt with the Kennedy assassination. But most of these shows aired 10 years ago for the 40th anniversary of the assassination. I'm guessing this year that there will be either more shows or repeating the ones that aired 10 years ago. And of course I'm going to be starting with the show that aired on ABC. You can see the show on YouTube was hosted and narrated by Peter Jennings, who was still alive. It was one of the last 2 shows 2-hour shows he did. The next last show he did was called The Kennedy Assassination Beyond Conspiracy. And this show was a 2-hour show trying to debunk all the Kennedy assassination conspiracy theories surrounding the JFK assassination. Which, it did, at least in the first 20 minutes, and of course at the end of the show, they did put a pretty good they put up a pretty good argument on what happened in Dealey Plaza to the Kennedy assassination. They did put a pretty good argument of it, because what they did for the first 20 minutes was that they show what happened, and then they had Dale Myers, who was a computer he's into computer animation. He's been studying the Kennedy assassination. I guess now 10 years later, for 35 years. And so he did a computer simulation of the assassination. And he did a pretty good job with it, and he did a pretty good job explaining, what had happened. So I thought it was a pretty good argument on what happened. And he did a pretty good job. But then, of course, when we were on the show, they talked about Oswald. Did a segment on Oswald. They did a segment on Ruby. That Ruby who killed Oswald. Of course, maybe many people don't know, but NBC actually showed Oswald being transferred from the county jail to the courthouse to be arraigned. And Jack Ruby came out of the crowd and shot him. And that was actually on live television. It was the first time you had an actual murder, not a fictional murder, on live TV. And my father, I wasn't born yet, and my father told me that he actually saw it live, because the other networks, that was at the time when you had three networks. You had ABC, NBC, and CBS. ABC and CBS covered the viewing of Kennedy's body in the White House and people walking by. They showed that, but NBC was the only of the 3 networks. They showed Oswald being transferred to the county jail from the Dallas police station, where it was. And they showed him being killed by Ruby on live television. And so those were the only ones who did it. And of course, at that time they thought it was a conspiracy to shut him up, so they wouldn't say anything. And a lot of people believe that Oswald, like Ruby, was sent there as a hitman, and I was trying to debunk that. That Ruby was sent there to kill Oswald, or purposely kill Oswald to shut him up. They said it wasn't the case. Of course, actually, the problem with that show is it just say so. And people who were involved with the Warren Commission on the House Select Committee of Assassinations back in the 70s, they said, because on somebody say so. Said, because that Ruby was not a hitman, or that Oswald wasn't a worker an agent for the CIA, this stuff on their say so. They don't have any proof. So, where's your proof? You can't just say so. You visual proof saying that Oswald wasn't an agent of the CIA. That's stuff that didn't happen on the broadcast or any other show, really. We talked about on any other documentary on the Kennedy assassination. It didn't prove it does have people who were involved with either the Warren Commission or involved with the House Select Committee on Assassinations. Just had out an interview and said so. But the best argument they had was with the computer simulation of it. And of course, the best segment on the show, other than the first 20 minutes or so, was the next to last segment where they talk about the JFK movie. Because of course not many people believe, and of course Peter James believed, that the reason why a lot of people believe it was a conspiracy was because of the JFK movie that Oliver Stone made. And so that's why it also took about 15-20 minutes because they didn't debunk all the stuff that was in the movie. And of course Oliver Stone believes there was a conspiracy, so he threw all the conspiracy stuff in that movie. And that's what basically what the movie was. All these conspiracy theories to kill Kennedy. So on the Peter James show, they did to debunk all that stuff. But like I said, they're trying to debunk everything. And of course, the next show that Peter James did was about UFOs and trying to debunk the UFO thing too, which I might get into another review maybe. Then of course the other show, which I thought was also very good, it aired on PBS on the Frontline series called Who Was Lee Harvey Oswald? Because it was really the first real documentary detailing Oswald's life. And it's a long documentary, but 3 hours, just under 3 hours, and it details his whole life and how he got out of the book depository, and actually showed where he was inside the book depository. And trying to show another thing, they also trying to prove there wasn't a conspiracy. Because Oswald, what Oswald trying to do is trying to get involved, trying to make contact with the Russians, with the Cubans, with the mob, not really with the mob, but with the Russians and the Cubans. And those groups had a reason to kill Kennedy. So that's why people thought, because he was involved, or kind of involved with those groups, that they figured, or the Russians and the Cubans in particular, they figured, conspiracy stuff. And so I thought the Lee Harvey Oswald show was a good show, even though it is long, it's 3 hours. But the other show that is also pretty famous, I think, was the Jesse Ventura Conspiracy Theory television show that aired on True TV. I don't know if this show is even, if Jesse Ventura is even making new ones. I don't think it is. I think it's implied that he's not making any new shows. I think it lasts like 3 seasons, maybe. But one of the shows, one of the better episodes of that series was, of course, the Kennedy assassination. Because he had to do one with the Kennedy assassination. And of course he did so. And I found of the shows that I've seen, that was definitely one of the better ones. That one and the one with Area 51, he did, which was pretty good. Of course, you saw one of the few shows that I've seen on the Kennedy assassination when you saw what's inside of what's now the book depository, the main museum, the Sixth Floor Museum, which is where Oswald allegedly was when he shot. And there's even a plaque on the wall on the outside of the book depository where Oswald allegedly was like underlined, allegedly shot Kennedy. And a lot of people still believe to this day, 50 years later, there was one of these conspiracy theory nuts who believe that Kennedy was killed in a conspiracy. Conspiracy was JFK movie went back and to the left, back and to the left, back and to the left. And, on the third shot. Of course, so I thought that was pretty good. And they also had an interview with Marina Oswald, which I didn't even know who was even still alive, or Oswald's widow. But going back to the Peter Jennings show, when he talked about the Kennedy film, on the segment of the Kennedy, on the JFK film. There was a segment on the film where Walter Matthau was talking to Kevin Costner. He says, he got off 3 shots in 8.6 seconds. On the show, on the Jesse Ventura show, it said like less than 7 seconds. He got 6.9 seconds. He got off the 3 shots. Of course, in the Kennedy film, it says, he had the 3rd shot's perfect. Usually, the first shot is usually if somebody's going to kill somebody, the first shot is usually the best one. He had the 3rd shot the best one. The first shot he missed. The 2nd shot he got shot in the back of the neck and it was out of his throat, Kennedy's throat. And then the 3rd shot was the headshot, which was the fatal one. And he said, how come the 3rd shot's the best one instead of the first shot? Well, on the Peter James thing, they didn't dispute that. For some reason, they disputed that about every other little fact that was in the Oliver Stone movie, except for that fact. But in the J.J. Ventura show, they didn't dispute anything that was in the JFK movie. They didn't really, discuss the JFK movie, except for the fact with the back. And I'm going to reverse it. We're going to my left. No, it went back and to the left. Back and to the left on the 3rd shot. So, but those 3 shows were like the best ones. If you really want to see something on the Kennedy assassination, those 3 shows were really the best ones. Now, I don't know if those shows are going to be repeated next month. As I'm doing this, it's October 29th. So I don't know if any of the regular television. I know the History channels, but I have stuff on. I'm talking about the regular broadcast TV. I don't know if they're going to have anything yet. They haven't broadcast anything. They haven't announced anything yet, as far as I know. But if you want to see 3 good shows, go on YouTube and see Peter Jennings reporting the Kennedy assassination beyond conspiracy, Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory show, and the PBS The Frontline, who was Lee Harvey Oswald. These are the three definitive shows on the Kennedy assassination. And I'm sure there's going to be others, or people are going to do reviews of the JFK film or these other shows. But me, I'm doing the show on these shows, and because for me it's an interesting topic. And here my father says to me, why are you so interested in this stuff? I lived through it. I know what happened. And he said, yeah, true, you did. I didn't. I didn't live through it. So for me, it's new to me. So to watch all these conspiracy theory shows with the Kennedy assassination, watch all these other documentaries, it's interesting to me because I didn't live through it. My father goes, yeah, I can see your point. But don't go. But he's complaining I was going overboard on that stuff. And now I'm going to go overboard with this video. So please watch like the video, write any comments, and like my YouTube page. Subscribe to my page, and like the video and everything else. And please spread it on your Facebook pages. You're getting a little tired of seeing some of the other videos that I am getting not even 10 views. So please watch the videos, and thank you for watching.